Hi, I'm Andrew White here with Focus Camera TV, and today we're going to be reviewing three super zoom compact cameras: the Sony HX300, the Canon Sx50, and the Nikon P520. Let's go and compare them. The Nikon P520 had a pretty nice autofocus. At super zoom lengths, it had a hard time tracking some objects, but in the mid to wide range, it was excellent. The autofocus on the Sony camera is very fast. Much faster than the Nikon. It takes a few seconds to process the image, which is kind of a disappointment. And the image stabilization on this camera is fantastic. Even at long distances, I have no problem keeping my frame steady. You know, the cool part about this camera, I know it's not exactly the autofocus, I mean it is, but in display mode it shows you both the histogram and there's a built-in level, which is a really nice feature, especially when you're at super telephoto distances. The zoom is much faster. This is definitely the fastest zoom of the three. The zoom on the Nikon camera was definitely the slowest of the three. It had a very hard time autofocusing at telephoto distances. It was just slow. It really was just slow. And the image quality, there's a significant amount of distortion the more you zoomed. I've been really enjoying the zoom on the Sony HX300. It's really fast. The video stabilization was great. I was just taking a video of some birds a few seconds ago, and it was amazing how still the camera was, the tracking was able to keep the shot. I could visibly see my hand shaking, but yet the image was still quite still. With the Sony camera, I was struggling to get it to stay, you know, before it starts going into digital zoom. But this camera it's very easy to go from fully open to the maximum optical zoom point. As we speak, I'm taking video of some birds bathing. It's at full zoom, and the camera is having no problem keeping the image steady. Now the Nikon P520, it has the largest of all the grips, and it feels the best in my hand, but the plastic looks like a toy almost. I can hear the lens vibrating every time I move it, which is not a good sign. The LCD screen on the Nikon camera, it's really large. It does the full flip, and it was quite bright even in direct sunlight, which I cannot say that the Sony camera is. Of the three cameras, the Sony camera is the largest. It has a deep grip that feels fairly decent, not quite as nice as the Nikon, but much better than the Canon. This LCD screen is the poorest of the three. It picked up a lot of fingerprints very quickly, and it also is the only one that does not do the full 360-degree flip. It only pulls in and pulls out and does a little bit of an angle, which is, you know, for a lot of the time, all you really need. In the direct sunlight, I had a difficult time seeing the screen. It wasn't impossible, but it wasn't as nice as it could be. The Canon LCD screen is smaller than the Nikons and the Sonys, but it has pretty vivid colors and it works very well in direct sunlight. It still has the 360-degree flip, which is a nice feature to protect the LCD screen when it's in your bag. It has this nice little dip here, so it's easy to rotate the click wheel and pick your picture mode. But the user interface is not near as nice. I couldn't find half the adjustments that are promised. Because of the size of my hands, I have a little hard time getting to the shutter button, but it feels all right. There are two different tracking buttons on this camera. One that zooms out and allows you to pick your tracking point, and then one that focuses on a tracking point, which for a super zoom compact camera is a very nice feature. I didn't see any real difference between the viewfinders of each. They're, you know, they're just small. They have, I mean, they're very responsive. The Nikon camera has a lot of bells and whistles that none of the other cameras have. It has GPS, it has a slow-mo video mode. It's definitely the most fun camera, but that's really what you're paying for, is a lot of features. I'd want the Canon camera if I shot a lot of video. It definitely had a nice video feature. It has a hot shoe, so that means any boom mic or flash that you want to attach to it, it can handle. The Canon camera also has an attachment for a remote trigger, which neither of the other two cameras has. The Sony camera is definitely the overall best camera. It doesn't have quite so many bells and whistles, but the build quality is excellent. These cameras are excellent for anyone going on a trip. They don't have quite the image quality of an SLR camera, but you'd have to have 3 or 4 lenses to have the zoom range that this one camera has built in, and that's really powerful. Compared to the battery life of point-and-shoot cameras, super zoom compact cameras have not that great battery life. But luckily you can buy extra batteries and they're easy to switch. The only downside is for all of these cameras, the batteries have to be charged in camera, which is a really terrible feature. It makes it very difficult to charge an additional battery if you're trying to use it. You have to plan ahead. It's so easy to get wildlife. It's awesome to have this much zooming power. It makes photographing so much easier. It's so much easier to compose, and no one even notices you. It's great for taking crowd shots because you don't have to be in the crowd. You can be far away from the crowd. Thanks for watching this review on super zoom compact cameras. I'm Andrew White. Check out my website, and thanks for watching Focus Camera TV. Like serious creep status.